And joining us to talk about that on the other end of our line, Dan Quisenberry, president of the Michigan Association of Public School Academies. Thanks for joining us this morning, Dan. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet, Kyle. Good morning.
Good
Morgan, Tony, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, do you work in this building, Dan?
I do, but I'm not there yet. You know, if I come too early, Kyle, then I'm attracted to go in and get a piece of pie before I get to work. And it just doesn't always work out for me well.
I completely understand. It's got to be a very tempting offer, trust me. So Michigan's going to welcome 18 new charter schools this fall. Talk to us about these schools.
Hey, it's an exciting opportunity. You know, it's 20 years ago that Michigan opened its first charter schools, and you still see that opportunity working in Michigan, providing opportunities, really just new ways of providing education to kids and giving options to communities and even educators to provide a different way of delivering education to kids, because everybody learns differently, and it's about fitting that to the kid.
You know, there's some very unique schools here. There's a new Montessori school in Roseville, for example. There's a school in Detroit that has a social justice focus. And there are several new schools offering online and blended learning curriculums. A National Heritage Academy school in Livonia. And it looks like you guys have seen successes on these particular niches.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really what it was about again. And even, you know, Kyle, if there's a way to aggregate the information from people, you do see traditional schools responding and offering choices as well. And so the bottom line is, we're excited about telling you about the charters, but the opportunity for parents is that they've got a wide variety of choices they can make that will do the best thing for their student. And hey, it's back to school time already. Can you believe that?
No, I can't believe it. And you know, I knew it was getting close to back to school time, though, when I was shopping through Meijer and I saw the Sam Adams Oktoberfest already being prominently displayed. A little too early for that.
So that might be the unique kind of school that you would have chosen. Something related to the history of Sam Adams, right?
Yes, exactly, especially when I was at Michigan State. You know what I found really interesting here about your new charter schools? 14 are going to feature high school grades, and that's really important, I think, for parents, isn't it? I mean, you've got your kids through elementary school, but then once they're used to that kind of environment and a good choice, what do they do for high school? You're not going to homeschool them unless you're apt and willing to do that.
Yeah, absolutely, Cal. One of the most concerning things I've seen, because this is a world I live in all the time, but one of the most concerning facts is the rate of boredom, lack of excitement or enthusiasm that students have, and that gets more problematic the older a student gets. So high school is critical, and finding a way for your kid to be excited about their education is really important. That's where you hear the word project-based learning a lot, which is, you know, putting all the academic stuff around some kind of a theme. There's that West Michigan Aviation Academy over in Grand Rapids. You already pointed out the social justice school in Detroit. Those are things, opportunities to get kids excited about what they're doing, so that math and reading and biology all become exciting because you've got something relevant to deal with.
Also, part of this release, there were 11 charters that closed or that were open last year, will not be open this year. How much of that had to do with the Detroit Free Press series that really took a very critical eye of charter schools?
None of it, really, Kyle. I mean, that's the other part of it. It's not the exciting part, Kyle, but it is. Charter schools were an idea to say, let's make sure that kids are succeeding, and if schools are not working, then they should go away, versus the other way around, where we have schools that just don't work and they never change, and kids are, unfortunately, still attending them. So these are cases where it never happens quickly. It's always a matter of the academics aren't working, maybe there's financial issues or other issues, and authorizers do their job by saying, hey, you know what, folks, you're not meeting the expectations. Let's make sure kids are going somewhere, the adults are going somewhere, but this school is going to go away.
And then one more thing here. The State Emergency Loan Board yesterday approved a $111 million emergency loan for the Detroit Public Schools. And this came basically on the same day that the Detroit School Board decided it was going to have to take 10% cuts with its staff. You know, you hear the arguments a lot, Dan, and I know you have, that because of the advent of charter schools, school districts like the city of Detroit are having big financial problems. The students are going elsewhere, and this huge public school district is having some real troubles. How much of that is the fault of public school academies?
Those kinds of issues existed, particularly in the Detroit public schools, far before charter schools were created. And then it comes right back to what I was saying, Kyle. There needs to be a focus on what's happening for students. And if there's consequences, it should be for adults. So when you're meeting the needs of students and families and communities, and you do good planning and you manage the school well, you're not going to face those kinds of challenges. If you don't, there's certainly going to be some consequences. And again, I'm not blaming. There's challenges all over the place. And again, you've noted that 11 charter schools are closing. So it's more about making sure kids are getting the benefit of the $14 billion that we invest in education, and that as adults we're all working hard and doing the best we can. And if it doesn't work out, we figure out a different way to do it.
Dan Quisenberry, the president of the Michigan Association of Public School Academies, thanks for joining us on the program today.